Chicago Home Jam.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yo, what's up? This is Brother L. Yo, what's up? This is Brother Seth. Hey, this is from Earatik, Statik. What we doing is eradicating Chicago hip-hop. That's right, in your minds. Big up to CeeLo. Yeah, and all the Chicago underground heads out there. Check out our new single, Locks It Down. You can catch it out, you know what I'm saying, the early part of the summer. Yeah, it's when we dropping the single, so just kind of beware. And we got to definitely toss it up to Mike Love and the Diz and the whole Chi-Town. Those guys always banging the hit.
Hello? Put me on the phone with your boy.
Hello?
What's happening? Hey, you gonna meet me at the spot with this Lulu boy.
Brother, we talked about that earlier, didn't we? Huh? I move around how I move around, man. You feel me? We talked about that, bro. Why you sweating me, man? I told you I'll be down there momentarily.
Dude, listen here. Look, these guys are known to be erratic, right? You know what I'm saying? And they have been known to give people the big fire.
I ain't worried about no big fire. I ain't worried about no erratic, okay? Okay, let's not keep talking about that, man. I'll be down there momentarily, all right?
Yeah, all right, whatever. Yeah.
First time I met Carlos would have been Pop Warner football, maybe Pop Warner football. So we wasn't on the same exact team, but we played for the same program. Start rapping probably. Yeah. I think I probably wrote my first rhyme in 6th grade.
Do you remember it?
No.
You don't remember it?
No, I do not remember it. So we split up. We did a show at Wright College. We did a show at Wright College, and we performed, and you know, it was a bunch of reasons behind it. I'm trying to remember. That was a long time ago. This is like 30 years ago.
Okay.
But Carlos and I were performing, and really one of the other members of the group kind of like, you know, I think we messed up our lines or something. And then one of the members of the group kind of got stage fright and kind of like was hiding kind of like behind a curtain.
Right.
And then Carlos and I kind of freestyled the rest of that show. And so then that was one thing that kind of propelled us, because Carlos and I were willing to really rock live.
Right.
And every member of the group didn't seem like they were willing to do that. Memorable, that's difficult. Yeah, I don't know the best one. I could tell you one of my favorite shows.
Okay.
I could tell you one of my favorite shows was in Copenhagen. Did a show in Copenhagen with one of my favorite artists, an artist named Pace One. We were on tour in Europe, and I really liked the Copenhagen show. Like, the venue was really dope. It was really cool performing over there.
Right.
And then at that time, since we were on tour, you know, this is like the 3rd or the 4th show, we had kind of developed, you know, like we were performing, and then we would kind of stay on stage, and Pace would come out, and we'd kind of back him up, and he'd come out, and we had a song together called Feel So Good that we did together. So like the transition had become good. And I think for some reason, that's a show that sticks out to me that was a really good time. If I can make a change, you know, looking back now, I mean, you know, I'm older now, so lyrically, you know, I might change maybe what I was writing about, because I'm older now, and you know, I got kids and a family. Yeah, well, Carlos is my favorite rapper.
Yeah, Statik. Gravel record. Earatik Statik. You know, got a question for y'all.
What's that?
Check it out.
Yo, hey yo, who makes some flashback to them classic cats? You know them cassettes that bang daily up in your deck. Today's MCs are weak as plastic rap, and it's a damn shame I can't get a grasp of that.
Well, hip hop was started in the urban areas, but hip hop was built for everybody to. Hip hop is an accepting culture. Let's just say that hip hop is an accepting culture, and That's why I really believe hip hop is no longer alive. Like Nas said,
Really?
hip hop is dead. And yeah, because it's not about hip hop no more. Hip hop wasn't violent, man. And you know, I think it's not that I'm not saying I dislike the music today or any of that, but I'm just saying it promotes more violence. So I don't really call it hip hop because that's not what hip hop was about. At the particular time, we were listening to a lot of an array of different artists from the West Coast to the East Coast, even in the Midwest. I mean, from Ice Cube and Dr. Dre over on the East Coast to KRS-One and Slick Rick. Even back to before that to like even Mantronics and guys like that. That's way old school, like Mantronics but these were guys that like pretty much stretched from the west all the way to the east. I'll say this, first of all, I wouldn't say we ever made it really big. In my opinion, I don't think we were very big, but what we were is we had our own type of sound and we had our own following. We had like a dedicated following that pretty much kept up with our music, whatever we did. So kind of an underground thing. So it wasn't really big, but yeah, no, our people were our people and probably still our people to this day if we were to put something out and we pushed it seriously, you know what I mean? So to keep grinding through, well, once you're on tour because first of all, once like being on tour is something that's booked ahead of time. And if you commit, a good way of killing yourself in the business is not showing up. So that alone kept us driving and kept us moving from city to city. We had booked these tours and we had agreed to show up to these places. And it wasn't always easy, bro. It was tough, but it's something we said we was gonna do and we didn't always tour, but when it came down to it, we were always committed to getting it done and getting through it unless we couldn't. And sometimes it was like that too. But yeah, I've had so many positive things. I'll tell you what stands out on my mind on tour is, and this is not positive at all, it's negative if you don't mind if I hit the negative side first.
Go for it.
You put so much into something and then you give it all the chance you can give it to make it a successful thing where you can actually live off of it and pay, all of your bills and do all of that. And then you get to that point and then you realize, is this something you could do for the rest of your life? Because, man, you got to understand, it's hard, bro. Being on the road and touring like that, that's way harder than a 9 to 5. I don't know anybody ever told you this, but it's much easier to do a 9 to 5 than be on touring from city to city. It's hard on the body, it's hard on the mind, it's hard on the soul, it's hard on your family. If you got a wife and kids, it's gonna be definitely hard on them. I'm at a place where I still love what I do, I still love music, and it's not about being famous or any of that to me. It's about me just doing what I love to do. I've been doing it for so many years and I'm gonna keep doing it. That's just what it's about for me. And I make music that I can put out. I still keep it sharp like that from my Earatik Statik days to now. So it's like a catalog. I'm just building it and I don't know what'll happen with it, but I'm still building it. I guess they said they didn't see the check, But for me, like, it was never a big deal for me because I was so into just being on stage back then and performing that it was never really about the money for me. It was about the future possibility of doing it again. So, no, they voted Seth out of the group without me. I voted for Seth to be in the group. That's why me and him.
Elevate heads like Rogaine, niggas you so lame, we control game, you can't hold it, can't control it, can't aim. We manufacture shit and track shit with control lanes. They try to reproduce and get loose with no shame. Shake your hands with devils that grow fame. They fight, skate maneuver, Earatik trips on a throw play. Yeah, like Sorcerers, Chicago, we get your cavalry. They amateurs and Rogaines with jazz up mentality. Seth surviving makes reality fast spitting. You never heard of me, cool. So sit back and relax and prepare for anonymous ass kicking. You bullshit in a black man. We grown, don't spit. No, spit. Resistant like around the grip. Protected from the brain of the power in your brain. Who brought us these
The memory of Earatik Statik takes me back to my early 20s. I have known them, and it takes me back to just my 20s and my 30s. So it's just very nostalgic, just hearing kind of underground hip hop at its finest. So I met Carlos at what would have been an underground hip hop party. He was there to perform. I was there with my girlfriends at a night just to go out clubbing. And we were introduced through a mutual friend. You're putting me on the spot because I'm his wife, but I think my favorite Earatik Statik line is kind of a quote from Scarface. So the song is People Like Us, and his line is, you need people like us so you can point your fucking finger and say I'm the bad guy. I wouldn't have my girls. You know, we have 3 beautiful daughters. But I also wouldn't have the love of my life.
Felt so good when I got up. I got up today.
Yo, I woke up feeling good as can be. I stretched and breathed over my body. See, I felt this major relief. Usually I'm feeling stressed from my head to my feet. Overwhelmed by these bills and paying the heat. But today I'm feeling free and complete. Even with these trials and tribulations that the devil's pitching at me. Through the rain I still feel the Lord be smiling at me. As I headed downstairs to wash my face in the sink. Made my way to the kitchen, got me something to eat. My girl jumped out, stopped me, started tripping on me. Telling me the rent late and now so is she. She gotta go to work, plus I got the baby to feed. She wasn't lying, now we crying, guess he ready to eat. Stressing out just seems petty to me. I told my girl I got the ring, gave her a kiss right dead on the cheek.
First met him, it wasn't even rap. I met him, we were kindergarten teachers. I met him in Evanston on the bus, on a school bus. I was teaching KA, doing kindergarten, and all of a sudden, he was like the new teacher. I didn't even know who it was. And it was like, it's Carlos Polk. And he's like, oh, here's a new teacher, KB. He's a humanitarian. We're humanitarians. We was kindergarten teachers when I met him. My dad he played piano since I was a kid. So he played piano since he was 9 years old. So he always played. And after that, my brother started playing guitar, at least in high school, about junior year. Because we didn't pick up the piano. But my brother picked up the chords, so he played piano and he played bass. However, I was like the, how would you say, the runt of the litter. I started playing congas. Well, I tried to play guitar and that didn't work. My dad gave me drums, that didn't work, and he bought me some LP congas and that stuck, and I was probably my first year in college when he bought it for me. He did not like, I would play I play my thing, and he would do his thing. I would go out and I would go to band camps, I would play all around and do their thing. I did not have the hip hop that he wants to play. Okay. So I've always did my little, lone wolf thing and how it is. And he'd come over to my house and I always practice. So he comes over and he's like, and I'd be playing hip hop things with my other buddies. He's like, oh, okay, what about this? He started giving me some grooves. He's like, oh, now you knowing hip hop. I'm complimenting what he's saying, his phrase and patterns. Okay. So he's going on a phrase and pattern. He might stop and he might be going on, he might be doing a major or minor. I might phrase off and I might go 2 or 3 or 4 of them of what he's doing, where he's gonna drop. I'm not going over him because I'm playing, my beats, my measures are lower than what he's doing. Okay. Because his is higher. Okay. So I play a lot. So I'm just accenting what he's doing. Okay. Me and him we did a show with him at DJ C's. It was me, Carlos, and DJ C's. That's the first one. He came up to me. He said, look, he told me I was almost crushed. I known him for like 20-some years. He's like, you Earatik. He walked right up to me. He said, you Earatik, dude. We gonna play.
Dave Letterman, razor sharp rhyme, sever the head of every man, crush upcoming acts, retired great veterans. I know it's hard, but all praise due to the God. Steady and learn what I can do to your paw. Listen, I'm laced with napalm to blaze your face off. Leave no traces where your features belong. That's heat. No, I'm not the cat that'll forget the shit that you said. Yes, the tools cocked back to pop, let in your head. Funnel that